Hello friends, getting fat because of the coronavirus here, bringing you another Dota 2 video on behalf of Dota Alchemy. And in this video, I'm here with Elevated, and we're going to be talking about the best offlaners in patch 7.25b, and we're going to take a look at a tier list. What up, Elevated?
What up, dog? You're looking extra thick today.
Thank you. How many C's?
I mean that in a good way. Like 4.5.
Okay, all right, so I'm getting up to that 5 mark. That's pretty good. That's kind of what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, I mean 5 stars is like the max rank.
It is.
In Dota. So
speaking of thick, we got a lot of thick boys on this list here because that's what offlaners are. And in my S tier, I have Beastmaster and Mars.
Hey, I also have Beastmaster and Mars in my S tier. I just threw Centaur up there, but this is recency bias because I just got bodied by a Centaur in lane. And I feel like he's close, but the fact that you have Mars and Beast and I have Mars and Beast, maybe I should remove Centaur and bring him back down to A.
I'm definitely feeling the Centaur. I have been moving Centaur up week by week by week. It feels like that hero has been good in every game that it's in. It just feels like it's better and better. So it's potentially S tier. But what I'm certain is that Mars and Beastmaster are S tier. Beastmaster has like a 56% win rate as I think the most picked offlaner, something like that in pro level pubs. The axes being magic is one of the most underrated changes of 7.25 because
really,
yeah, because these like counters to Beastmaster, these traditional counters to Beastmaster, which is like Naga and PL, these illusion heroes who have 1 billion armor that Beastmaster just can't do anything against. Now you have an answer to that. You can go a couple points in axes or max axes and just dumpster them in lanes, and you couldn't do that before, and that was how people countered Beastmaster. And on top of that, in the previous patch, Beast was already good. The boar is absolutely insane. At level 4 with this ability, you basically have a support. If you look at a support's damage and HP versus
oh my god, you do. Holy shit.
It's legit. It's legit about the same as like having an extra Crystal Maiden or Dazzle or something in lane, except with the slow and actually useful. Call of the Wild, blocking camps is insane. Inner Beast, obviously this is one of the best auras in the game. Primal Roar is a BKB piercing disable that if any hero is a problem, you can kill them. And then Dom, Vlad's, and Necro are all really powerful items right now. And that screams Beastmaster. He built these items before anybody did.
Yeah, that makes sense. You think he's viable in lane against all of the popular carries too?
Yes, definitely.
Cool.
I definitely think that's a big reason Beast is strong. I don't know what can lane against him that just dumpsters him. It doesn't feel like there's anything, especially if there's some like Snapfire position 4 or something, right? There's another hero that does a lot. It's kind of like you're guaranteed to win the lane if you pick Beastmaster. I actually feel the same about Mars. I feel like Mars is another one of those heroes where if you go through the list of carries that could potentially lane against him, it's like Slark can steal his stats, Jug can spin, Razor can suck his damage. But there are answers to all of this. Like Jug, you hit him with the God's Rebuke, and then he either has to spin that or he has to spin the Spear, and if he spins that, you knock him back, and then you just run away. You can spear him away after, you can spear a Nake's away. You can force these heroes to use their magic immune abilities. Razor, you can spear him away. Just the fact that he has so much disable, so much damage reduction, and so much damage. It feels like if you can't lane against something, quote unquote, you just get a soul ring and spam your nukes on them, and nobody else does as much nuke damage as you, so they can't lane against you because of raw damage. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah, he also seems fairly easy to play too, right? He has a pretty straightforward item build, and then he just, once he gets like blink and you have your ult, you can kind of just take any fight you want anywhere.
I choose you. You get to die.
Exactly.
Oh, that's too bad. It's like a 60-second cooldown Doom, honestly. That's how I've always viewed this Arena of Blood, because it just isolates one guy, and the enemy team can't get in, that guy can't get out, they take 1 billion damage. You just pick one person, and they're essentially dead, especially if you have a little bit of extra damage.
Yep.
So A tier, I have Nature's Prophet, Clockwork, Centaur, Batrider, Brewmaster, and Legion Commander. I want to start with these two over here, Nature's and Clockwork. I considered that maybe these heroes would be S tier if you're really good at them. They're both really powerful heroes, but I would say that's the big reason that they're up there in the list, is not necessarily because they're brilliant offlaners or anything. I think these are just two broken heroes right now. I think Nature's really like the buffs with like the ultimate giving him damage. as well as just like Nature's was generally pretty good before. And Clockwork, the fact that Force Staff is nerfed and then he had like 10 buffs in a row, 10 patches in a row. I think that hero is just absolutely insane. And Offlaner 4, I don't really care. If this hero's in the game, you're going to be pretty happy with it.
Okay, yeah. I have Clockwork in B just because I feel like as an offlaner, he falls off too much. I understand that he's a very strong hero, but he just doesn't necessarily seem to like. He can't take over a game. Is the main thing. He's always going to be throwing his body in and sacrificing himself for the team, even if you are farmed.
I can kind of understand that. I would say I have seen people go Necrobook on this hero as an offlaner, and that actually
I thought about this.
That actually does solve the problem of farming, and then you can cogs people and make them just battle your Necros.
Right. Yeah. I remember thinking about that like a long time ago. I was like, I wonder if you can just Necrobook in your cogs and fight people here, but
it's pretty legit.
Actually,
it's pretty legit. So I think Clock is like I'm pretty happy with where Clock is at. We'll see what people build on him. Centaur, like I totally agree with you. I think this hero is incredibly powerful. The fact that Retaliate does so much damage. I mean, return damage 76. Oftentimes, the enemy hero that's hitting you takes more damage than you do from Retaliate, which is ridiculous. And then you turn this thing on, and you get like a rapier worth of damage. And on top of this, you have a hero who's able to cut waves, a hero who has one of the best stuns in the game, one of the longest lasting stuns in the game on a very low cooldown. And then Stampede is just one of the best abilities in Dota. Like you make everybody hasted for a duration. I don't think that the strength multiplier really matters that much. Like I don't think the damage from Stampede is really what makes this hero. It's the fact that you can disengage from any fight or you can engage in any fight with any heroes. Like doesn't matter what hero you're playing.
Also with Puck kind of trending downwards, Centaur goes up, right? Because Coil is one of the main counters to Stampede. And I would say that this hero is kind of one of the most brainless heroes in the game to play as well, which definitely bodes well for winning pub games.
Right. He's also a very good, speaking of brainless, aura builder. Like he builds the team support items fantastically, and he can also farm them very quickly. So you can get a Crimson, you can get a Pipe, and feel like you're immortal and kind of like you're playing a carry, but then you just run in and you're playing that frontline kind of defender team aura building hero as well. And like you said, it's just so easy. Batrider, Brewmaster, Legion Commander. Batrider, I think ever since they changed the sticky napalm to have no cast point and you don't have to turn to cast it on somebody, broken hero. Just an insane hero. Yeah. He's fallen off, or sorry, he's been nerfed a little bit. He hasn't fallen off a lot. I think the fact that you can cut creep waves and deal with any lane is really good. There are tons of illusion heroes that are powerful right now, but Batrider doesn't even care. You just cut the wave, and then eventually you catch the illusion hero out because you're Batrider, and you have this bonus vision on Firefly, so you can catch people really easily at night. You have sticky napalm, makes you just incredible at chasing. I think this hero just has been broken, and it was more broken than people thought it was, and the nerfs are just not enough yet. Like this hero needs to be kind of fundamentally nerfed before he's going to fall off.
Sure, makes sense to me. I also think that Timbersaw and Lycan maybe have a spot in the A tier. I know that 33 has been playing Lycan with a lot of success, and just because the hero is so insanely good, it seems like it could work, but I don't play a lot of offlane, so I'd be interested to hear what you think about that. But Timbersaw has been the most banned hero in the ESL League games and across like most competitive games from what I've seen.
I was considering putting Timber a little higher. I actually had Timber as like A tier before. And I think I put him in C tier because of low win rate, as well as I think there are a lot of heroes that are currently meta that are pretty good against Timber. Batrider, for example, is one. Pugna, these sorts of heroes. But I would definitely be willing to put Timber in B tier, just because I feel like the nerfs weren't enough, but they were something. It is noticeable. You can't like tank tier 2s willy-nilly now. You need to pick up like a Ring of Trask or something like that before you can do that, and maybe a little bit more regen. So yeah, very good hero, very solid hero, but I would be careful in pubs because it's very much so a hero that plays from ahead, and if you fall behind, it can feel kind of like you're griefing. How do you feel about Brew and Legion?
Legion. I mean, I think Legion makes sense just because very good against PL, who is very popular.
All of these illusion heroes, and Slark, and
Yep.
Jug, and
Yep.
Nakes, basically every carry.
It's also kind of like the only purging offlaner left that feels
It
like you
isn't
can
garbage.
still, yeah, that feels like you can still lane it successfully and then have impact later on in the game. Whereas like Abaddon, I feel like you just get bullied out of lane super easily.
Yeah,
Omni Knight
some
bullied
Razor
out
or
of lane.
Ursa or something will destroy you.
Right.
Man, Omni feels fucking bad. That hero's cooldowns are so long. He
Yep.
doesn't do anywhere near enough. He doesn't get farm. He doesn't really frontline that. Like, it feels like he cannot do anything in games. It feels like a way shittier Legion or Abaddon, and Abaddon's not even that great. Have
Um,
you tried the new brew?
I haven't. I've seen people picking it, and it seems like it could be good. I have him in B tier. He's been getting buffed a lot. Primal Split's been getting buffed a ton, but I haven't actually played it myself.
The ulti does an insane amount of damage. I was playing against a Razor yesterday in like a top 100 pub, right? So this guy, probably way better player than I am. And I popped ulti and he would suck me. And I killed him from full HP. And because he just didn't expect the ulti to be able to, he was beating me in lanes. Obviously it's a Razor versus Brewmaster. And I was able to just pop ulti and solo kill him between my Cinder Brew damage and the slow, as well as all of the ridiculous damage that comes out of the Primal Split. The Fire Spirit, now this was not in the patch notes. Like, it was weird the way they worded it. They said now it hits on a 0.5 second interval instead of a 1 second interval, and usually when they say that, that means that it does the same damage but it just hits quicker. It does double damage, straight up. They doubled the
Oh, yeah.
damage on the immolation.
So it does 160 damage per second at level 1 now.
No. That's the right click damage. So the immolation damage is, I believe, 120 DPS at level 1, which, I mean,
Oh,
still
Jesus.
that's insane. It's
Right.
something like that, maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher, but so they doubled the damage on it. You can test it in a lobby. I don't know if this is intentional or if it's a bug, but this hero doesn't. And then on top of that, they have this panda literally right clicks for more damage now. So you hit like a
Right.
goddamn truck, as well as have this like ultra radiance. It's really ridiculous. And then the Cinder Brew, man, I did Rubik and Brewmaster lane the other day. I would throw Cinder Brew on the whole wave, and then also the heroes. He fade bolted, the whole wave would die, so we got level 2 first, and then the enemy heroes took like 200 damage. And then also they didn't do damage to us. It was ridiculous. If you compare this hero with another hero that has magic damage, then at level 1, you just are like the best traders in Dota. 24% movement slow, 100 damage? Come on. 80 mana, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'm theory crafting stuff now, like Lena, Rubik, Snapfire, any of these that also have like disable built into their wave clear.
Yeah, I would recommend people try Brew. You don't think that it's going to be good, but then you play and you're like, what the hell? Also, he builds all these aura items that people like. Like, he builds into, Pipe, Vlad's. Dom even works because it gives damage to the Brewlings. It's pretty nice. Okay, B tier. We can kind of quickly go through these ones because I know there's a lot of them. I have Void Spirit, Dazzle, Leshrac, Night Stalker, Axe, Timbersaw we already talked about. I guess I can quickly go through here and you just tell me if you disagree. I think Void Spirit can be rough in the lane, but it's a broken hero. The new Ags is insane. Dazzle with Necronomicon. Any cooldown reduction hero with the Necro is really good right now. People are running Force Sniper, unironically, and it's good in winning pubs. Leshrac, the BAT changes. I think this hero is just a great hero in general, so that's why he's up on this list. Maybe best as a mid laner, but I do feel like as an offlaner, if you have something like an Earth Spirit, you can definitely get away with it. One of the best pushers in the game. Night Stalker with 2 rings of regen is basically immortal. Axe with 2 rings of regen is basically immortal. One of the best wave cutters in the game. The unfortunate thing about this hero is the Blade Mail nerf, that it no longer goes through BKB. That, in my opinion, that in my opinion is the greatest nerf to Axe in like the last 5 years or something ridiculous like that. It really hurts him. But with that being said, you are still a disabler. You are still a hero who can pick up all the aura items. Like, really, do you pick offlaners to do damage these days? I would say if you're doing that, you probably shouldn't play offlane. Like, these heroes are all about disable and about enabling your team.
Yeah, and his laning stage still feels nuts. Like Battle Hunger and just cutting the wave, almost guaranteed. You kind of feel like no carry can lane against you, and then he's insanely good against the popular carries as well because he has that catch.
Yeah, I think if you play Axe and you're a good Axe player, it's very hard to not have a game. It's very hard to like throw and not be farmed. Maybe I should say you can throw, but there's always a way to get something in the game. It's
Mhm.
very rare that you can find a game where it's like, oh, Axe couldn't do anything in this game. It's like, well, no, you could go cut the creeps or you could dive them with Battle Hunger. There's so many different ways of getting something out of the lane on this hero. So C tier, I have some of these heroes are kind of interesting. I have Pugna, who I think is just a really good hero right now, probably best as a mid laner, but I think Pugna's like a broken hero. Possibly
Dude,
B tier.
life drain. What the fuck is the 7-second
I don't know.
cooldown?
I
Are
don't
you
know.
kidding
I
me?
really have no idea. The problem with the offlane Pugna is that you need so many levels before you get to the life drain. It can take a while, and it's just dog at laning. So it can be a problem, and that's why I have him low in the offlane, but it's a broken hero. So I'm not going to not put a broken hero on the list because it like you can play in the offlane. You're happy to have a Pugna in the game. Slardar, fallen off a lot. Still, Corrosive Haze is great. Still decent, but the nerfs hurt. This is one of the most fallen off heroes since 7.23 or whatever the patch was, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been playing a lot of offlane, so I don't really know. I feel like people still pick it a lot, but it definitely doesn't feel nearly as insane to trade with in the lane and stuff like that.
It doesn't. And there's a lot of like Naga Sirens and Troll Warlords. There's a lot of viable heroes that people are picking. Like this hero was great because everybody was picking Nakes and Jug.
Mhm.
And now it's like if you're laning against a Terrorblade or a Naga Siren, those heroes don't give a damn. They have 50 armor.
Right.
Sand King, I considered putting higher in this list, but his win rate is kind of dog shit low, which is unfortunate because I do think it's a pretty good hero. It does need a lot of levels before you start like cutting waves and doing a lot with the Sandstorm. There are certain combos that are really good with it, but and it's good against illusion heroes. But I think the big downside to this hero is travels were nerfed. Veil, you don't really go Veil on Sand King anymore, so the two builds that people are doing are kind of gone. Which means probably there are just other builds you should do that people haven't exactly figured out yet. But yeah, it can feel a little rough just because like, hey, what items do I build? Do I rush Blink? Well, then what if I have no HP? Like, what's my contribution before that? What if my team doesn't want to fight?
Right.
And you need a lot of levels on Sand King for sure.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Is your favorite hero?
I don't know about offlane. I feel like it's still pretty good as a 4, but offlane, it's kind of the same thing. Like it can manipulate the creeps, right? It can hold the lane back so you have a decent couple first waves, but then after that, it feels like you're kind of just losing the lane, unless you have like a super good matchup because they picked some awful hero against you.
PL or Naga or something. Like it's a very specific hero owner, and a lot of the time in pubs, you don't get to pick as an offlaner these days after the carry. So
Exactly.
it kind of feels like matchup dependent heroes are not super viable in pubs just because
Yeah,
of
the
that.
drafting has really screwed a lot of things up in terms of being able to counterpick. Like you almost just don't get to anymore.
Not as an offlaner. Not as an offlaner.
Yep.
Carries get the offlane counterpick, which is sad. So, which makes sense why Beastmaster and Mars are so viable when you consider
Right.
that they don't lose any carry matchup right now. It's either you pick a dog shit carry and beat these heroes, or you pick a good carry and they beat you. So
Yep.
this actually makes a lot of sense, and their win rates make a lot of sense too. Speaking of dog shit heroes, Abaddon is actually not that bad. He's great at 5-manning. He's great at pushing. He's a good save, but definitely very punishable in the laning stage. And can't split push, can't really farm quickly. Doesn't offer as much tower taking ability as something like a Beastmaster. Doesn't offer team fighting like something like a Mars. Abaddon can feel quite lackluster unless you're talking about, okay, can a hero run in and not die? Yeah, he can do that, but that's just about all he can do.
Right. Yep. I would agree with that.
Okay, D tier, we have Pango, Underlord, Darkseer, Necrophos. Maybe I'll put Underlord in C tier, actually. That kind of seems a little too
Yeah,
low
that
for
seems a little
hero.
low to me. I feel like that hero's reasonably good, quite good against PL, for example.
Definitely overrated, though. Definitely overrated.
Mhm.
From his win rate's quite low, and there are heroes that crush it, but not deserving of D tier for sure. Necrophos, Vengeful Spirit. I don't even know why she's in there. She's not an offlaner, for God's sake. Doom,
Get her
Winter
out of here.
Wyvern, Enigma, Earth Spirit. That one's interesting. This could be good. I've
Mhm.
seen occasionally people playing Earth Spirit offlane these days with the buffs to him. I think Earth Spirit's just a good hero, but I'm not entirely sure yet. Bristleback, also overrated in my opinion. Better as a carry. Razor, better as a carry. Occasionally, if you just need to shit on their safe lane, Razor can be good. But oh boy, if you fall off, there is
Oh
no
my god, it
turning
feels
back.
so bad.
You're
Yeah,
done.
because you're an offlaner that doesn't build auras really doesn't do any damage, doesn't have any stun, doesn't have any control.
It feels like you do nothing. It feels like, and that's why I put Queen of Pain here too. I actually think Queen of Pain's a broken hero. The new Dagger Slow is insane. But with that being said, as an offlaner, you basically need to win the lane or you lose. I played Queen of Pain, and the guy that I was playing against picked Slark at the same draft order that I picked Queen of Pain.
No.
And it's like, oh, come on. Like, oh man, why can't you be a Jug or something like that? And I just shit on you a Dagger. So it once again, lane dependent, and anytime you're talking about lane dependence in this patch, it's bad. Tidehunter, right. This is just one of the most garbage offlaners. He needs a rework, gonna be honest. Puck, nerfed a billion times. A big reason I put Puck in my D tier is because I played it with CC&C, and he said, after he messaged me, and he's like, Jenkins, I can tell you how to gain 500 MMR. I was like, oh my god, come on, tell me, dude. And then he's like, remove Puck from your drafting screen. I was like, oh. Okay, so I put it down to D tier. Spirit Breaker, which has a 40% win rate, definitely overhyped. I definitely am to blame for that overhyping. I saw Zai playing it. It looked really fun. It's really fun to play. But holy fuck, this hero does nothing in the laning phase. He does absolutely nothing. You're basically a support. Venomancer, that's maybe a C tier hero. Maybe
I was gonna say that seems a little underrated. I feel like nobody's really exploring it, although there's like a couple people in SEA that play it occasionally, and a couple people in CIS that play it occasionally.
I do think the like Nagas and PLs,
they own it really hard,
and Wraith Kings who has lifesteal, like they don't really care. They don't really care about a Venomancer, but the hero's definitely okay. It's a little slow. Omni Knight, this is one of the worst feeling heroes. It just feels like all of his abilities have, like, the numbers on them aren't good. They cost a lot of mana. Their cooldowns are really long. They don't do enough healing. The degen, it's really small. It basically isn't an aura after the laning phase. If you look at his talents, They're just garbage. Level 10, people skip the level 10 talent. Level 15, 90 damage on a healer hero or 30 move speed on a slow-ass hero that just doesn't care about move speed. 20 talent, 12% degen. Oh, great. I'm going to run up to people as an Omni at level 20 and slow them. No. Or 4 mana regen. Come on, 4 mana regen.
Why is that level 20?
You have so many items at that point. Who in God's name would need 4 mana regen? He's not Storm Spirit. Even Storm Spirit would probably think that's a garbage talent. And then, level 25, the talents are cool, but 25 talents when every other talent is bad. This hero just, everything feels bad about it. It just feels like all of the stats, all of the numbers are too low.
Yep, I can get down with that.
Worst hero in Dota?
Definitely not an offlaner. How does this hero get played? Like, what does he do? I had somebody come to my lane with hook first the other day, and I was like, can you just go somewhere else, please? Like,
the thing is, though, the alternative is Rot, and it's like, Rot doesn't do anything.
True.
I don't know how to make this hero work. You can't go Flesh Heap level 1 now because it doesn't give you any regen. You go hook first. Cool. Every 27 seconds, you do 150 damage. That's just about the best thing about Pudge, but it's a skill shot. Rot level 1, it's not even an ability. 11% move slow? Dude, that's less than Orb of Venom, man. For God's sakes. That's less than old Orb of Venom. Wow, 14% magic resist. Oh, cool. You spend 4 ability points, and you get a cloak. You get a 550 gold item for 4 skill points. Fuck you, Valve! What did I do to you? Is it because I sit in your lane in trees and soak XP? Is that why? Is that why you punish me? And all the other Pudge players out there? Is it the XP? I can stop doing that, man. Just give me the old hook back. Give me the old Flesh Heap, man. Give me Rot slow level 1. Make it smaller AoE, but make it slow for more.
Yeah, to be honest, I hope that they buff this hero just because
it's going to be picked regardless.
At the very least, it'll have some impact instead of negative impact.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you how you feel about Necrophos, because I feel like this hero has been an offlaner in the past, but he is just so easy to kill in the laning stage.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty nasty hero right now. Like, I do think he's quite good. But once again, it goes back to, if you asked me like 2 weeks ago if the hero's a good offlaner, I would say yes. But now that the draft order is the carry picks after the offlaner, I would say no. You're just going to get Jug against you and you're going to feed.
Hmm.
Like this hero is so dependent on the lane matchup to be good. Otherwise, you feed. I mean, if you're Necro against like a Sven or something like that, then yeah, you just absolutely dumpster him, demolish him. But if you're against a Jug or a Gyro, it's feed central, you know.
Hmm.
So you have to be careful with that. Um, anyway, that's it. We covered everything. Unless there's any heroes that you want to add.
I just have a few more in your pudge tier, just because I've been seeing several people pick these in the offlane still, and I'm just like, why? Just pick it in the role it's supposed to be in, which are Wraith
This
King,
one,
Tusk, and Ricky.
oh, Wraith King. Oh God. Oh, stop submitting replays with Wraith King as an offlaner, please. My God.
Yeah, those ones. It's just like just pick it in the correct role, and you're gonna have a good time. If you want to play the hero, queue for the role that it's good in. Don't queue for offlane because it's a faster queue, and then pick your hero that loses your team the
The
game.
problem with Wraith King as a carry or as an offlaner is like you're never gonna have time to farm skeletons. You're never gonna have skeletons. That's one of the most annoying things about the hero. So
Yep.
you would need to max the Q and the W, but those abilities aren't that good as like support because I think it only gives half damage to everybody other than like Wraith King. So it's I believe. Let me read it. How does this work?
It just doesn't give
Oh,
double
it
damage.
amplifies by 1.5x. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
only gives the bonus damage. So it gives a little bit less. So it's not really the greatest like supporty hero, and he doesn't
It's
really like building Hood or any of these items. I mean, neither did Tuscan and
yeah.
Ricky. Really, that's the problem. Is like these
Right.
heroes, they don't play like offlaners play right now, which is building pipe and Vlads and things like that. You're gonna feed on these heroes if you do that. You're gonna be useless on these heroes if you do that. So what's the point? Why not pick a hero that does do those things?
Exactly. That's kind of the thing. As we go deeper into the tier list, it's always just like, why not just pick one that's above you in tier? Because it does everything that you're looking for in the hero that we're looking at right now, except much better and much easier. And in a game like Dota, ease of execution is generally the answer if you're having a hard time.